Mehryn, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday at 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. now to me. I don't know. People watch this all week long. I went through the statistics this week. I see, a couple hundred people watch it, yesterday. So.
All right.
But happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to what I call the TikTok of Teams Rooms, the fastest 10 minutes of Teams Rooms news for the week. Mehryn, did you have a good week?
I did. Pretty busy, and I feel like we have a lot. We teased to a lot of content last week, and a lot of it kind of unveiled itself. I feel like we had a big moment this week. I think it was yesterday, the 22nd, where we had, the Jaros Spataro blog. We had the Viva webinar with Satya. So a lot of really good content came out this week. So
a lot of really good content. I want to say thank you to Yorktel and Polly. I went into New York City and spoke. I'm wearing a soccer jersey today. My girlfriend said, "What are you going to be, Roy Kent on the show this morning?" So happy Ted Lasso Day. But one of the things that people always, you get this too, Mehryn. Yeah. How do we remember to actually attend every morning, every Friday at 9 o'clock? So there's a whole bunch of different things that we're doing this year to sort of get people educated on Teams Rooms. The first thing is the Teams Room, the Selling Microsoft Teams Rooms LinkedIn group. This show is actually posted at the top every single week. I go in and I pin this at the top of the channel. But the YouTube channel, Mehryn, the Teams Room Tech Talk, that's where everything sort of lives for their recordings. I have heard from people that's a great way to actually get notified as well about we're going live and we're here. But that's another way. And we've also got the Learning About Teams Rooms trainings. Go sign up. We had another one this week. Great attendance. It is limited, so make sure that you're signing up early. I think there's 9 more that we have scheduled every other week to go into this first half of the year. There's a whole bunch of interesting topics that we have. But if you attend, we're going to actually tell you how you can give us topics. Make sure that we're teaching you all about what you need to know to talk to your customers. And Mehryn, we talk about it. Go to your account managers. Yes. If you have questions, if you want to learn something specific, make sure that you're telling them exactly what you want to learn about.
And lastly, I will chime in, on selling Microsoft Teams Rooms on LinkedIn, that's meant to be your space as well. I think one of my favorite parts about this show specifically is all the comments that we get in the chat. And honestly, we say this a lot every week. Whatever you want us to share to this community, you can send us a message, send us a slide, and we're happy to do that. We're all about just creating a community here where we all share. So
absolutely. Love it. Don't forget, Mehryn, because I've heard a whole bunch of news this week about Microsoft Ignite. So make sure that you're registered. Make sure that you're ready. I've heard some people that are actually going in person. There were some people that actually said to me, "Hey, are you going to be there out in Seattle?" I will not be. Are you? Did you decide? Are you going?
I decided no, I will not be making it out there. It's just a long trek from Florida and a bit of a jaunt. But I did see there are other regional cities open. And actually, when I went to finally register online, a lot of those cities are already at capacity, unfortunately. So small window. If you didn't jump on it, join us virtually and We'll find a way to have a good time virtually. It's all good.
Yeah. And there's some speaking sessions I'll be speaking at, so make sure to sign up. Get them into your backpack, whether you're virtual or in person. Make sure that you're actually keeping up on the news, because there is a lot of that will be coming out, not only about Teams, but Teams Rooms specifically as well. And Mehryn, I can't do this by myself. I can't have meetings by myself. I need somebody else to be there on every single meeting. So there was a blog post this week about the importance of the co-organizer and all the roles that live inside of meeting types as well.
Right. And I think we went through this chart this morning where the columns on the right kind of designate the role and what access and what features they have the ability to do. And for me, it's all the quality of the meeting. I don't know if you've seen recently the level of ratings that you can give. You can't just give 5 stars. Now you can go into, was there an agenda? Was it an effective meeting? I think we're getting a bit more granular on meeting quality. And in a lot of cases, when you've got a lot of attendees, this is critical. You can't run the meeting entirely by yourself, manage the chat, do the admissions. You need somebody there with you, making all the magic happen.
This is like Spinal Tap. We're going to 11. We're going up to 11, and we're not turning it down. So, but you spoke about this actually at the beginning too. I actually attended this. I thought this was a spectacular session. I think Jared did a wonderful job of actually outlining all the different things. And productivity paranoia was one of the words that he brought into this discussion to sort of speak about a little bit about the going back to the office and empowering the workforce.
Yeah. And my favorite was the CEO panel at the end. I feel like they were very transparent and really kind of open about the fact that we don't know what's coming next. And I think, a really thoughtful discussion on the future of work. And I think, Satya, like, it started out where, what is work? It's a very existential question, but what is productivity in work? I think it's really important questions that we're starting to ask ourselves, which is really cool.
Satya has said, let's stop using the term hybrid work, because hybrid work is just work. He's also had conversations about the importance of the office and the space of the office and using it as a tool. And we've had 200 years to perfect that tool. And Mehryn, one of the articles that I actually saw that had nothing to do with Microsoft or sort of Teams rooms and things like that was Tesla ordering their employees back to the office, but not being able to actually satisfy everybody in the office itself 5 days a week. So that was an interesting article that I read this week about, like he said, office space is important, and making sure that you're using that space and using it as a tool is important. So if you haven't watched this yet, make sure you watch this. It does go over a lot of Viva insights and things that that we've pulled out as Microsoft ourselves, but also queried our customers and brought to forth. So there's a lot of bridging the employer-employee disconnect. This was another article as well.
Yeah, so I read the blog, and he was a featured guest on the Work Lab podcast this week, where similar messages. I personally am an avid listener, not so much a reader. So I think on the blog as well as on the podcast, he did a really good job of outlining where we currently are, what has changed. And what was interesting, he talks a little bit about how this, for the last, like he said, 200 years, it's been a bit of command and control. And what the pandemic brought was the need for flexibility and putting the employee first, and how that's really been a learning curve over the last 2 years. And now the journey back, and certain regions embracing it fully, let's get back, and other regions not so much. So really dynamic article and blog. I thought it was really thoughtful.
Yeah. And I think that quote that I pulled out of the article there, it may be uncomfortable, but change always is.
Right.
That's why we talk about it. That's why we make sure that everybody's having those conversations, because by just dictating what used to be will not mean that you're actually set up for success in the future. And speaking of success, Mehryn, we're having boot camps again.
Boot camp is back, baby.
So we're having the partner sales boot camp. If you are a partner, make sure that you sign up. Again, the aka.ms link is down there. Make sure that you're signed up. This will actually go over a whole bunch of stuff that we did before, but it will also contain a lot of new information as well. So even if you have attended before, make sure you carve out some time. Make sure that you're actually a part of these boot camps. And if you have questions, again, speak to your partner account manager. Make sure that we know exactly what you want to learn about, because we're actually putting these together for all of us.
Yeah. And this is, if you remember it last year, it was it's meant for the person that's just starting to embrace and understand what is Teams rooms, what is the opportunity. So great for those sort of just beginners in the space, hoping that you can evangelize it with a lot of your coworkers, and trying to this is basically a lead into that sales badge, which is great.
Awesome. And Michelle Bauman is doing a fireside chat with Tom Arbuthnot. I know that Tom is here. I think the two of them are going to have an unbelievably interesting talk. Make sure that you tune into this, because there's a lot of things that Michelle and I have been working on. There's a lot of things that he's been working on with his teams over there. I know even yesterday he teased something that we had spoken about a little bit. Hey, would you be interested if Jimmy and I did this? So he's got that kind of personality where he will tease things. So make sure to sign up for his fireside chat. Two great people with a lot of good information to speak.
Love it. Both everywhere, all over the place. All right. So Outlook connectivity, you shared this with me this morning, and it's one of those things where we don't get into, we look at the ecosystem. You can't have Teams rooms without some Outlook connectivity, right? Yeah.
And the Exchange troubleshooting tools that are inside of this video are great. If you don't know what Fiddler is, make sure that you're looking at it. If you don't know what the connectivity tool is, that actually shows some of the certificates that flow back and forth and where things might actually have a problem. Make sure you're looking at this. As partners, we want to make sure that we're outfitted with all of the information so that when we get to a customer who might be having the problem, we know exactly where to look. And Outlook is a part of Teams rooms. I can't stress that enough. It's not always just Teams that actually has the connectivity issues. Many times it's Outlook. And people will come to us and say, well, how do I troubleshoot Outlook? Mehryn, I got a blog post for you.
There you
So it's good to know. It's good to see.
Right. Okay, so this is a personal win for me this week. I'm the kind of person that joins in with my laptop as well as my phone a lot of times because I'm not able to sit in one place. So this is something new I learned, and it might be a new feature, but if you are looking to leave the meeting and you don't want to have to do it in two different places, there is a drop down next to leave that gives you the option to leave on all of my devices, which was a win for me this week. So there you go.
And I think this is important as we get into companion mode or Teams rooms, as we get into all these different places that we're going to actually alert you to join the meeting from. Leaving from one place actually helps make that easier. And I think that's everybody's job here for Teams, for all of the different places that we sit in. Remove the complexity of technology itself. Make it easy. Remember, 4 pillars to Teams room. The first one is make it easy. Simple. And have everything be very, very easy. So that makes it easy. Mehryn, I want to thank Michael Tressler. He is in the background. I know he's Mr. Grumpy. He got no sleep today. But thank you. Thank you very much for doing all the producing. Thank you for everything. Mehryn, we're 12 minutes. I try my best to do 10 minutes, but there's so much.
We try.
But thank you, everyone. Thank you to the community. Again, if you like this show, share it with everybody. Make sure that other people know about it as well. If you've got comments, go ahead and make sure that we understand what you want to learn about. If you've got events, send us the events. Mehryn and Jimmy and Michael will be happy to share it. Mehryn, Michael, have a good weekend, and thank you, everybody, again.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.